This is Matt for Boxing Social in association with Empire Fight Storm. Delighted to be joined by the legendary Bob Arum. Bob, first off, before we start, it's coming up to Christmas. How are we?
Terrific. I just had my 91st birthday celebration, so that's pretty good. Every year that I can announce that a celebration, every number I put up, I mean, that's a cause for celebration.
Absolutely. And to be still working in a business like boxing really is outstanding.
Thank you.
Bob, I wanted to talk to you about the year we've just had. 2022 has been a monumental year for boxing, and we've had a lot of things happen. We've seen Tyson Fury sell out 2 huge stadiums in the UK. We've seen Devin Haney defend undisputed, the rise of Shakur Stevenson, many, many things. I want to ask you, what's your standout moment from this last year?
Well, I missed Tyson Fury's fight in April at, I think it was Wembley, where we did 95,000 because I had COVID. But all my friends who I invited over from the United States went, and they said it was the most exciting sports moment they had ever been at. It was like absolutely incredible. So I got that through osmosis. But there's been, there's so many great moments, so many great kids, and that's why I'm still doing this, because for me, it's a great joy to see these young fellows who are great athletes and how they develop and their personalities, and now with social media, how they can project themselves. So, I mean, I'm having more fun now in my 90s than I ever did before as far as boxing is concerned. I mean, and just to be around Tyson Fury, I mean, that's a hoot. I mean, Fury is highly intelligent, a lot of fun, and you don't have to really bust your hump promoting him because he promotes himself.
Yeah, I was going to come on to Tyson. What's it been like in your experience working with him? Has he give you that sort of motivation and that almost kept that joy for you for boxing? He's that type of character, isn't he?
Yeah, I just have a good time being around him. I mean, you know, it's not work. It's not work. I mean, there's some fighters, particularly in the past, who you had to really work hard to get them to express themselves to the public. With Tyson, there's no such problem. I mean, he's the guy that runs the ship. He's like Ali. Did I work hard promoting Ali? Well, not really, because every kind of stunt was Ali's, wasn't mine. Ali taught me everything I knew about promotion. Oh, Tyson Fury is cut from that cloth.
Wow. In terms of Tyson, I think everyone's sort of waiting to see what his next step is. We were all talking about the undisputed fight with Usyk. I know Alex Krasik, when I spoke to him in London, said, look, that's the fight we want next, either Middle East or Wembley. Do we have an update on that?
Well, the fighters have agreed to fight each other next. That's done. Now the question is the site. And we have a couple of offers from the Mideast. And we have the possibility of doing this huge fight at Wembley. That'll be decided in the coming weeks. And whichever way it goes, it's going to be a massive event.
There are no concerns from your part that this will be for undisputed, it will be for all the belts? I know everyone was talking about mandatories, WBA, IBF. I know Dubois with the WBA, but IBF, they're going to be okay with this. Obviously, they called Hrgovic.
We'll keep the belts unified, at least for this title fight. What happens afterwards, God knows, with these organizations.
Coming on to another fighter who you've worked with this year, Devin Haney. Now, I saw a tweet that went out, I think it was earlier this morning, saying there's some big plans for him next year coming up. Talks of Lomachenko. Can you give us a bit of an update on where we're at? I know it looked like they were scheduled to fight next.
Yeah, I had lunch yesterday with Bill Haney, Devin's father and manager, and then Devin joined us, and his next fight will be against Lomachenko. We're working out the date and the site right now, but that's his next fight. And Devin, win or lose, is going to be a big, big factor in the sport of boxing. He's a terrific young man, and very, very good fighter. So I like the way he carries himself. I like the way he fights. And with Lomachenko, I mean, he's in with the master. So that'll be a very interesting fight.
With Devin, obviously, you've worked with, a plethora of talent over the years. I mean, you mentioned Muhammad Ali. We know you've worked with Pacquiao, Floyd Mayweather. How have you found working with Devin? Because he seems to be calling out everybody's name. I remember before Ryan Garcia was mandatory to fight him before, he went over and said, let's make the fight. It didn't happen. He seems to call people out and didn't happen. But now you've got the Kambosos fight, got all the belts, and he's like, yeah, Lomachenko, let's go, before wanting to move up. What does that say about him?
Yeah, Devin has a lot of confidence in himself, and rightly so. And so does his father. He's highly intelligent, he's a terrific young man. And I like that when a fighter is confident in his ability and is ready to take on everybody.
Yeah. Another, I say young talent, he's an established talent now in Shakur Stevenson. What an outstanding year he's had. Terrific fight when he got the belt and went and fought Oscar Valdez straight after that. Another one who seems to be calling for all the big fights. What's the sort of path for him next? What are the plans for him in this upcoming year?
Well, hopefully we'll be able to get him in position where he'll be ready to fight for the lightweight title, because Devin is soon to go up to 140 after the Lomachenko fight, and that will open up 135 for Shakur. He's a massive talent.
Yeah,
there's so many really unbelievably talented kids in the sport of boxing. Now we're getting such great athletes in, and nice young men, who don't abuse their position. They don't, they adhere to the straight and narrow. And Shakur is a great talent, and now he's built a massive following in his hometown of Newark, which is across the river from Newark, New Jersey.
Yeah.
So he'll be coming back in March, and I can't wait to be there.
Do you think when we look at all the big fights of the past and what could be in the future, you've got the likes of Devin Haney and Shakur Stevenson, do you think in, maybe not in the not too distant future, when you look at the big fights, these two could come together and fight each other at one point?
Sure, that's always a possibility. To make an in-house fight is easier than going dealing with another promoter. But again, either way, these guys are going to have big fights, interesting fights, and great careers. And then all the youngins who were a few years behind, like Keyshawn Davis.
Yeah.
I mean, I never saw a kid remind me so much of Sugar Ray Leonard when he's in the ring.
Wow. Well, that's probably the biggest compliment you could give a young fighter in Keyshawn.
Right. Well, but it's true.
How far do you think he is off challenging, like at world level then? He is only early in his career, but
he just started. I think he has 1 year behind him, Keyshawn. So, I mean, let's have some time. Because like my matchmakers say, let's see how he handles rounds. Let's see how he handles different styles. I don't rush them in the first couple of years. No reason to rush them. They're young people.
100%. Let's come on to the females in your stable. Mikaela Mayer's had a terrific year, and she had, in her mind, she thought she'd beat Alicia Bongana, but she's had a great run. and it was a great fight. She's mentioned that her next fight, I think, in a tweet, is almost done. Can you shed any light on that, on where she's going to be going next?
Well, no, I can't. But I met with Mikaela on December 10th at our fight in Madison Square Garden. We use her as a commentator for the foreign broadcast, and she's a terrific young lady, and she's going to fight very shortly. And I thought she beat Baumgartner, but again, be that as it may, she'll be back. She's a great talent, and she's great for the sport of boxing.
Is that a fight you'd like to see run back at some point if it isn't next?
Absolutely, love to see it go back. I mean, you know, I was confident in her before, and I'm even more confident in her now.
Absolutely. Let's talk about one of your other stars in Jared Anderson. A lot of people are saying he's the future of the heavyweight division. He's certainly got the charisma. He comes out to the ring in all sorts of outfits. A huge sort of potential star in the sport of boxing.
And what a lovely kid. I mean, he is absolute. It's so much fun being around him. I mean, he's truly a performer, and you know, you want to really embrace him because he's such a nice young man. So yeah, and he's talented. I mean, but we've got to make sure that he gets some rounds in before we really move him into contention, because I don't think he's going more than 2 rounds or 3 rounds in any fight.
Yeah, he's a nice kid. I've met him in London, speaks very well. Is that the difficulty with these stars, though? If they do excel at this level that they're at now, finding someone who will take them the rounds but not chucking them in too deep?
That's what we're looking for. That's what his next fights will be, because you know, you always worry with a heavyweight when he bangs out opponents in 1 or 2 rounds. What happens if he goes into the deep water? Does he have the energy and strength? And that's what we have great matchmakers in Bruce Trampler, Brad Goodman. Yeah. And we'll, that's what this year is going to be, to get Jared Anderson primed for being a top contender in the heavyweight division. Absolutely.
And final one just from me, Alberto Lopez beat Josh Warrington the other week in Leeds. Michael Conlan on the same evening beat Karim Gurfi. Is that a fight you'd be looking at in-house? Michael Conlan obviously with Top Rank, and Alberto Lopez, is there potential for that fight on St. Paddy's Day?
Yeah, absolutely. That's what we're trying to put together right now. And hopefully that'll come together, and that'll be a great attraction and give Michael a chance to win a world title.
Absolutely. Well, look, Bob, thanks for giving us some of your time so close to Christmas. I really appreciate it. And hopefully we can catch up in the new year once we've had a few fight nights.
Okay, Merry Christmas, Happy New Year.